Thank you for asking. Yes, I will explain this more. All right, so first off, the FDA has a page called Is It Really FDA Approved? That explains what is approved and what is not FDA approved. All right, the FDA does not approve facilities. They can inspect regulated facilities to ensure that they're complying with current good manufacturing practices. However, there are exemptions to regulated facilities, which I will get to in a second. The FDA does approve new drugs and biological products. The FDA does not have pre-market approval of food products. However, it has the authority to approve certain ingredients before they are used in food products. If you're introducing a brand new food ingredient into the food supply, you need approval for that. You do not need approval for a food product that is using already approved ingredients. The FDA does not approve food labels. However, there are many FDA regulations that have to be followed for the label to be in compliance. If the label is not in compliance, the FDA can contact you to change it, and they can fine you as well. In my experience, you're going to get sued for an incorrect label before the FDA is going to contact you about it. That's just in my experience, but typically the FDA does not have the resources to police food labels, especially for small companies. The FDA does not approve structure function claims on foods or dietary supplements. The FDA does approve health claims, so if you're making a health claim on a food, that would need to be approved by the FDA. 21 CFR Part 101 outlines all of the regulations regarding food labeling. There's a lot. Feel free to read through that. It's fun. Some food companies can be exempt from labeling regulations depending on the size of the business and where they are selling. All right, back to the registered facility part. So there are some exemptions regarding FDA registered facilities. That includes things like farms, retail food establishments, and restaurants. And a retail food establishment is defined as an establishment that sells food products directly to consumers as its primary function. I talked about this recently in that Daily Harvest video, but a lot of direct-to-consumer companies fall under the classification of a retail food establishment, therefore their facilities do not need to be FDA registered. So small food manufacturers, as well as these direct-to-consumer companies, can be exempt from the Fsma Preventative Controls Rule. Under this Preventative Controls Rule, food facilities are required to be registered with the FDA, which I just explained that they could be exempt from. These registered facilities must conduct a hazard analysis of the operation and create a food safety plan which prevents issues, including monitoring and verifying that prevention steps are taken. The facilities must also have a recall plan in place in case a recall is necessary. But some direct-to-consumer operations fall within exemptions, and that's what I'm talking about here. Now, that doesn't mean if a company is exempt that they don't have to follow any regulations. It's just that those regulations fall to state and local agencies. For example, in Florida, retail food establishments are regulated by the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services. These exemptions can also create some food safety issues as well. We are seeing some of those issues in real time right now with the Daily Harvest recall. In my opinion, there are areas of regulation and enforcement that need to be improved. Some of these things are much larger issues than just one specific small business.